Hello everyone. Today in this video I'm going to be showing you how to make or recreate this blue brick pattern in Adobe Illustrator with the help of a randomization plugin called Randomill that you can see over here on the top left section of the user interface. Should only take a couple minutes with the help of this plugin, so let's get right into it. First thing you want to do is let's just create a canvas that is the same size. So that is going to be 1,000 pixels by 1,000 pixels. So I'm just going to type that in here. Got the same size canvas. And here we go. We're going to want to create a grid of overlapping rectangles that covers the entire canvas to use as the base of our randomization. So I'm just going to create a rectangle here. Let's take the stroke off to make that a little more visible. And that seems to be about the same height. I think that looks pretty good to me. So then I'm going to go ahead and create a copy of it and shift it exactly halfway overlapped over the first one. And then I'm going to hit Control or Command D if you're on a Mac to copy the previous action. And as you can see, it will just keep copying it halfway over the previous square rectangle. And then I'm going to select the whole row and then copy it vertically halfway overlapping over the previous row, and then hit Control or Command D again. Well, actually, I think this one does not overlap, so we're just going to copy it the full length down, so not overlapping. So I'm going to hit Control or Command D again to just fill up the entire canvas with these rectangles. And then just to make everything nice and neat, I'm going to select the whole bunch and then scale them to the exact corner of the canvas. So here we go, this is our result. And now what we want to do is randomize, it looks like the color, the opacity, and the horizontal scale, and maybe even the blend mode of each one of these rectangles to match this result right here. So let's go in here. Randomill makes that very easy. So let's start with the color. Here we go. I'm actually going to restart this plugin just so it loads in the default settings. So here we go. Fill color. Now let us choose the range of blues that we want to use here. Just going to use these sliders to dial it in. I think anywhere around there. These all look pretty saturated to me. I think I'm going to put this somewhere around 90 to 100%. And then lightness, let's call it 25 to 75% and see how we do. So we're going to leave that alone. Fill color seems to be pretty good. Next up would be opacity. Opacity, I'm thinking anywhere from 50 to 100% should do it. So we'll just set the minimum to 50, leave the maximum at 100. Step size of 1 seems right to me. And close that back up. I think there is also some kind of blend mode stuff going in here. As you can see, these overlapping little sections in the original design. So I'm going to also randomize the blend modes. We don't need them all checked. So I'm just going to click uncheck all and then only select the ones we want. So I'm thinking normal, multiply, lighten, screen, and overlay should do it. That should be it. And then we also want to randomize the scale, right? Because in the original design, they're not a uniform size. So to randomize the scale, we're just going to turn the scale option on. We're going to uncheck uniform scale so that we can only randomize the scale in the horizontal direction. So I've unchecked that, and as you can see, the minimum and maximum fields have now separated into 4 fields for horizontal and minimum and vertical. So checked and uncheck. So we're going to set the vertical scale to be a minimum of 100 and a maximum of 100% as well. So that way the vertical scale will remain the same. And we're going to leave, I'm thinking anywhere from 80 minimum to 250% maximum with a step size of 5% or something, just to give it a little more spread. And that seems good to me. So now that we have all our options set up, let's go ahead and click randomize and see what we get. Now keep in mind this may take a minute since it has to apply and generate random scales for hundreds of these rectangles here. Okay, so this is what we got with that result. And now it looks distinctly more saturated than this one above here. So let's go ahead and turn off all these functions, and we're going to play with the fill color a bit to see if we can get it to more closely match the above result. So the hue seems to be pretty good. I think there is a little too much purple in here, so let's actually dial this down a little bit. The saturation, we're gonna lower the minimum saturation since there are some kind of lighter colors here, and then we're gonna expand the range of lightness all the way from end to end. So let's go ahead and select those again, click randomize and see what we get. That is much closer. That is close enough, I would say. And just to make sure that this pattern covers the entire artboard here, I'm going to select everything and stretch it all out in the horizontal direction a little bit, like so. Now we do want to make sure as the final step that the design does not exceed past the boundaries of the artboard. So what I'm going to do is group all of these objects using Control-G. I'm going to create a square the same size as the artboard just by clicking and manually typing in the size of the square. I'm going to center that square in the artboard and shift click to also select the underlying group of rectangles, and then hit Control-7 to create a clipping mask. And there you have it. We have a very similar result as to the one above. In just a few short minutes, using all the randomization functions of Randomill, we've recreated the pattern and made this tiling blue brick pattern that is very cohesive and yet non-repetitive. If you'd like to see how I've recreated these other patterns here, I'm going to leave a link to that down below in the description, and I will also put a link to the plugin itself and where you can pick it up if you are interested in that in the description as well. Thanks again for watching. I hope that this video might help you in your illustration endeavors, and have a good one.